Doing?
Well, hello there. Hi, I'm really good. I'm really good.
Good.
It's been a really lovely day.
Justin, in production 2, we are now live, apparently.
All right.
Will you confirm?
Confirmed.
All right. Give me 1 sec to check on a few things. I'll be right back.
I'm going to share this link out again on the Twitterverse. Tell everyone to come and join us. Well, what a talkative group of folks you all are. What is Gimli's line when they arrive in Meduseld and he says, "You'll find more cheer in a graveyard." Come on, you guys.
I feel attacked right now.
It's a birthday.
Oh. I'm thinking that once we get used to this, because when we're at the birthday parties and all that, everybody's always noisy and having fun. I think it takes a while to get used to this like this.
To get people to warm up. Well,
yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Things will get warm up after we drink something.
Yeah.
Libations.
That's for sure.
Libation loosens the tongue.
Ouch. Hey, Justin, will you have the can you put the Zoom URL on that countdown?
Sure.
Because I noticed that I noticed that like it's appearing on the live stream, but I wonder if we put it on there, folks will know where to go.
Still not there.
I know I need to lift it up.
Welcome to everybody else who's joining us. I think I see Stevie, I see Rebecca, Nadia is now on camera. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Are we starting before 8?
Yeah, we should start our toast, right? If we're going to try to hit it right at 8-ish. So
yeah, I got a couple of things to offer that are interesting.
All right, let's do it, Cliff.
So everybody wants to learn more about the world of Arda, the amazing place where the epic tales of Middle Earth are set. And I found no better place to understand the man behind the epic than to listen to some of his own thoughts. And it's remarkable to me because he was trying to tell his publisher how difficult it was working and writing on the sequel to The Hobbit. So here's a letter to his publisher where Tolkien says the sequel to The Hobbit has now progressed as far as the end of the 3rd chapter. But stories tend to get out of hand, you know. And this has taken an unpremeditated turn. Mr. Lewis, meaning C.S. Lewis, Mr. Lewis and his younger boy are reading it in bits as a serial. I hesitate to bother your son, although I should value his criticisms. At any rate, if he would like to read it in a serial form, he can. He's just playfully suggesting, well, your little boy, Rainer Unwin's little boy loved the Hobbit manuscript, so he's teasing the idea so gently. Rainer Unwin's son might want to read early manuscripts of The Lord of the Rings. He didn't know what he was doing because it took another 12 years from the day that letter was written before he actually got to the end of something that took an unpremeditated turn, something that he said got wildly out of hand. And that always impressed me, that he was so modest and quiet about something that became so big and so grand. And it was that unassuming nature that Tolkien had, and I think that it blesses his characters often, his Hobbit characters that we relate to so much, and it's that quality in him as a person that I see in his literature that really has gotten me through a tough year. You know, to get some perspective, you just look a little bit to the past, and you find something about good common sense, plain old Hobbit sense that the Tolkien possessed. It is time that we should all raise a glass for all those who are with us, for all those who are no longer with us, for all those near and far, separated by many thousands of miles, and yet forever brought together by our love of this gentleman and this scholar, for he was a gentleman and a scholar. And what he left for us is such a great and wonderful thing that brings us all together. So I would say cheers to that. And ultimately, we should say cheers to the professor.
To the
To the
professor.
professor.
To the
Professor.
Awesome. Thank you, Cliff.
Delicious.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us today for this special live event, toasting Professor Tolkien on his birthday, on his 129th birthday. I feel like I need to stumble over those words to make it work well.
Almost got to Bilbo.
Yep.
Almost.
2 more years.
Oh, look at all the folks who have joined us, by the way. We want to welcome everybody. I see the Khan family. I think that's the Khan family. I mean, you have so many folks there. Hello. Ellen, nice to see you. SJ, welcome back.
Nice
I
to
see Kevin and Kathy's here, and Gary and Shayla's back. Molly, Jacqueline, Julie, Kat, Janine, Rhoda, Jean, Rebecca. Yeah, wow, we got a bunch of folks. So our schedule today, we're going to do a little bit of trivia if everyone's up for it. Those of you who were at the toast earlier will recognize some of the questions, but I've thrown a little, I don't know, challenges in here to throw you off. So you might think you know the question and the answer.
You mean a ringer?
A ringer, yes. You know, and it is going to be slightly technically challenging if you've never done something like this trivia game. So let me just explain it really quick, and then we'll walk through it. Ultimately, what you're looking at is the Zoom room, right? Those of you watching online, like on Facebook and YouTube, you got to join the Zoom room, which is listed in one of the pictures here to participate in the actual trivia. But what we're going to do is you're going to need a phone or another browser window or something else to log into. It will go to this website address and enter a code, and it'll give you it'll get you into the game. Oh yeah, there you go. Thank you, production 2. Code upcoming. Hold on, I'm going to launch it. But what happens is we all join the game. We have time to join, and we'll take a few moments to join the game. I'll make sure everybody's in. We'll talk through any challenges you might have technically, and then we'll play. And there's about 16 questions, and we don't have any big prizes or anything at this point, but it's just for fun. And it's all about Professor Tolkien and his life and, you know, family and education and war experience and all kinds of fun stuff.
You know, bragging rights and a lot of fun.
Yep.
It's pretty cool actually, because we got a good test drive earlier today. If you're with somebody on your computer or on your laptop, you can simply do the quiz and respond very easily to the colored buttons on your phone while you chat. It's very easy.
So your phone or your device serves as a buzzer. So I'm going to share this screen now. And by the way, this is the screen you'll see the questions for the quiz on, and your device ends up being your buzzer. If anyone's ever played Jackbox, you're very familiar with this concept. So right now you should all be seeing a screen that says go to quiz.sh. So on your device, you just go to the browser and type quiz.sh, and then you enter in. Hey, look, experienced folks are joining in. They see what to do. I'm going to do it on mine. So you can also do this if you don't have another device. You can still do it in another browser window, right? And join in the fun here.
But you do need to see both at the same time.
Yes, you do need to see both at the same time.
Your phone is your buzzer.
And your phone is your buzzer, essentially. Yep. If a little pro tip, when you are joined, if you can see my screen, it looks like a little buzzer, right? Multicolors. And then at the bottom, it says your name. Exactly. And then there's a little icon. You can actually click on that icon and change your icon if you so choose. So there's some
charger.
There's some fun ones in there. I'm gonna go with Mike Wazowski.
Mike Wazowski.
I noticed him earlier today, but there's no real. I mean, there might be a Gall one in there if anyone finds a good one. But
How
so
do
we're
you do this?
so you have to
Please turn on.
you have to have Zoom open, right? Which is what I'm sharing right now, this Zoom. And then you also need another device, like a phone, an iPad, another browser window, and you go to that URL as you see it, quiz.sh.
But you do it in a browser. It has to be a browser on your phone.
Yes, thank you, Kathy.
And it's not an extra app. You don't have to download anything.
No extra apps.
On your poking thing.
For the low price of 99 cents. No, it's not that. And you should then enter this, get prompted to enter a code. And that code will, as you see all the folks here on the screen that have joined in, they're all ready for the game to start. And what will happen is when I hit the start button, we'll go right into the quiz questions and your phone will be your buzzer. And the faster you answer the quiz questions, the more points you get. Again, we're just doing this for fun and bragging rights.
And the questions will be on the Zoom page, right?
Correct. I will repeat the questions as well verbally for anybody who might be visually challenged. And actually, I'll say out the code again, just in case. So you need to go to quiz.sh, which is quiz.sh in your browser. And then the code is GUQUT.
That's a suitably orcish word.
It is, isn't it? It's like we planned it.
It is.
And then once we start the quiz, I will say the question, and your device should show you the responses you can choose from.
Oh no, that's not it. Come on.
GUQUT. And then it will prompt you to put your name in there so that your name pops up with a face.
I want to know how many people are at the Cod family house right now. Like, this is impressive. Like, is that still the Cod family there? Is that, I'm saying your name right? I don't know. Yep. Okay. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It was 6. How awesome is that?
Wow.
Do they all have their own phone?
Yeah, they're all on their own devices. They're probably, it's going to be competitive at the house this evening.
Yeah, they'll all be shouting at each other.
All right. So is there anyone who's still having a challenge trying to connect here? Feel free to unmute and say something. It's no big deal. We're not in a huge rush at all. This is a nice casual event.
That's really what's so pleasant about it. It's so relaxed.
Yep. Now, was someone saying they were having an issue? I didn't see.
Oh no, it would die.
Oh. You all right, Jazz? You got it?
I'm fine. The tablet's being weird.
Okay,
I haven't charged it in a while, and it might be a little too low. What are you doing?
All right, here we go. We're going to start with the first question. If you get this one wrong, we will have to have a discussion after this because this is probably the easiest one of the game. Then again, maybe it's a trick question. Who knows? All right, let's go. Here we go. We're going to start the game.
Okay, here we go. Here we go.
This is the day J.R.R. Tolkien was born.
Is
Come on, you piece of crap.
There's a timer at the bottom. You have to
There
answer.
is? Ah,
Is there a timer? Oh, there is. Yeah, the bar.
oh, timer.
if you don't answer, it just logs you as a person who didn't respond.
Correct.
You do want to try to get some points,
Did I-
don't you?
Let's see.
Did it?
Yay! Congratulations. Everyone got it right. Oh, wait, I'm sorry.
No.
No, it says I have 435 points.
Yep.
Well,
Good job.
nice.
That's good. That was a total of 1,000 points you could get if you answered instantly, by the way. But 4 of you got it wrong, and 7 of you didn't answer. I'm slightly concerned.
My tablet's being difficult.
Okay.
I didn't answer.
All right, here we go. On to the next. J.R.R. Tolkien had one sibling. What was their name?
They wouldn't have used that middle name twice, would they have? Rule?
Oh,
They must have.
Because it's in all 4 answers.
I guess.
Yeah, there's no escaping that name.
No.
All right, the correct answer. Hilary Arthur Rule Tolkien. All right, going on to the next.
Quick question.
Heart. His name spells out heart.
Hold that question real quick. J.R.R. Tolkien's parents' first names were. I'll pause on the next before the next question to take your question, whoever was asking that.
Yeah, no worries.
All right, so who had a question?
That would be me. And I have finally gotten another browser window open and I'm in the quiz and I can select an answer, but I have no idea how you actually say send.
Oh, you just click, you have to click in the browser, you just click it. That should send it automatically.
Did on the last question and it didn't do anything
Oh,
that
all
I'm
right.
aware of.
You didn't touch
Hopefully-
it hard enough?
Well, they're on a desktop, I guess. Are you on a desktop?
Yeah, I'm on a desktop.
Yeah.
And you might have, if you didn't enter at the beginning, it might not have allowed you fully in.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's possible because I was still booting up because I didn't know I needed a second browser.
Oh, sorry. That's
That's okay.
okay. Okay. So
I'll
this
just
is the
watch.
first. This is the first time we've really ever done this. So we'll probably organize it a little better next time. All right, Arthur and Mabel was the answer here. Moving on, we get some.
Yeah.
Oh, Tolkien lost his father at the age of 3. In what country did his father die?
That was quick.
All right.
Did I do it?
The correct
can't-
answer is South Africa.
And I already
All
got
right.
a question wrong, even, and it was a repeat question. I can't believe that.
Don't admit that, Kathy. You don't want to.
Mhm.
All right, moving on. We're going to see the first round of scores here on your screen. It'll show you your score. Cliff.
Sorry,
Cliff,
kid.
come on.
Cliff.
Of course.
Oh,
outta
I love the
Just
name.
the red wine. Blame it on the red
Toy Nerd.
wine.
I love.
And I'm at
Princess Toy Nerd's
22, so
name.
that's awesome.
Wait.
Clip number 1. How am I not surprised?
All right, moving on. Moving on. Tolkien attended King Edward's School, where he was friends with a group of artistically inclined colleagues named TCBS. This stands for.
Everybody, I just loved that movie so much with
Yeah,
Nicholas.
it was
It
good.
was so good.
I still have yet to see it.
Mhm.
It's kind of awesome.
You got to check it out.
I'll probably watch it tonight after we're done.
Maybe if you could not show the answers before we get a chance to read the whole question. Because the timer starts as soon as the answers show up.
Yeah, this is a software.
And that
had
was a
nothing to do
really
with how-
long one.
Yeah, I was. I hear what you're saying, but it is unfortunately just part of the software. It's
Oh.
nothing we can control. I wish I could
Well, that
actually write something
sucks.
that's cool.
Yeah, and
Yep.
your score is based on timing. So yeah, that's
Yeah,
why you sometimes
exactly.
get things wrong. Is you're trying to read quicker than your brain can absorb it.
Unless you got the natural ability to read fast, then you're good.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on.
I'm
Long
ready.
question. So you want more long questions, is what you're saying?
Thanks for that, Chris.
What I heard.
Tolkien started attending Oxford University in 1911.
Ah,
Which college?
Probably got this one wrong.
I'm gonna get this one wrong.
Will too. I don't remember.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Yeah, that's about it.
Okay. Well,
I know, but I'm not logged on, so I can't click on it.
You gotta call a
Exeter.
friend and
Right.
Everybody got that one wrong. Wow.
I knew that one, but I'm not logged on, so I can't click on it.
well,
Oh.
the advantage here is there's no actual prizes, so you don't have to worry. Like it's
This
just
is all prestige, right?
all
Prizes
fun.
that I
Bragging
want to
rights.
win and I'm
Is
Is there
not.
a family playing at a table?
Yes, the Khan family.
Why?
Because they're awesome and they're my new favorite family. Like they're awesome. All right, moving on. In which World War I battle was Tolkien involved?
Wait, out loud is a bad thing.
Yeah, don't say your
No.
answer out loud.
No, go ahead. Shout out the answers.
sorry.
You can feel free to. I think it's good part of the competition to shout out wrong answers if you want. You know, that's
That's true.
Ooh, you're
That's true.
mean.
The answer is 42.
right.
I mean, everyone did that to me when I was in third
Man.
grade.
I got
Let's do a
it.
math question.
Oh, of course.
Got that messed up with Blackadder. So anyway.
All right, moving on. After the war, this was Tolkien's first employer.
Wow. Hey.
Hopefully, we're learning a lot today.
If I get this wrong, I
Well,
will
that
be
was annoying.
I will
I
be
got
very
it wrong the
disappointed
first time. I
in
hope I don't get it
myself.
wrong again.
I actually clicked on it immediately and it didn't register, so I'm annoyed. I lost points.
All right. Yep. The
I need
Oxford
a-
English Dictionary.
Of course.
Of course.
I believe we are coming up on our next scoreboard.
Here we go. No
Oh.
way.
Still winning.
No way.
Five. 5.
You
Oh my
guys
God.
want me to
Yay.
Third.
do you guys want me to disconnect Cliff so he can?
We
I
wanted
can
to
do that.
disconnect the first person that was winning.
Hey, Garf,
Oh.
you're in the top 10. How about that?
Yay.
I'm
I
basically the
love
real
how
Hey,
winner.
number
Dad,
12
look
is
at you,
Goop
number
Foot.
10.
I'm basically
By
the
the
real
way, on
winner,
your
'cause
device-
Clipper is not counted.
You could see your whole the whole list of everybody participating.
Right.
All right,
I
let's
got
move
number
on.
2. That's pretty good. Okay.
This is the day Tolkien and Edith Bratt were married.
Oh, good heavens.
Wow. Ugh.
I had to.
Yeah.
I can say.
Oh, I probably got the wrong date.
Well, there's only 4 to choose from.
Only 4.
25% chance of being right.
Okay.
Oh.
Need a 4-sided coin if you're going to flip coins for the answer.
Yep.
I didn't happen.
Pull out those D&D dice. All right,
Yep.
Wow.
next
Open
question.
initiative.
Oh, whoop.
Edith and J.R. Tolkien had how many children?
Oh, you count it? Yeah. Yeah, that's goodbye.
My phone got stuck.
I'm sorry, princess. I'm sorry.
I just love, where did you dig up some of these pictures?
Google.
Google for the win.
4. Unlike the picture shows 3, actually 4.
Psych.
All right, moving on. This was the name of the Oxford Literary Society that included Tolkien and C.S. Lewis, among others.
Anyone who gets that wrong has to leave.
I got it wrong. I pushed the wrong thing. I didn't read properly.
So you have to leave.
I think this is the only question I actually got right.
What?
Yeah.
The inkling.
All right.
I pushed.
I can.
Arg. Yeah, I won that
Next.
5 there.
I have to admit, Inky Fingers is somewhat inspired, though.
It's kind of like a punk band.
Yeah.
Or
It should be a punk band, I'm pretty sure. But they should only play Tolkien and C.S. Lewis stuff.
that would be fun. Yeah, and do pub crawls.
Speaking of pubs, in what establishment did the Inklings regularly meet?
Darn.
I went there last year, actually.
Hey,
I was
That's
there in
awesome.
February.
Oh, I should have gone.
It's the first restaurant I ate in
I'm going for the
after I got
25.
off the plane.
Oh, that's pretty awesome. When we could actually travel. That was
I've never
Yeah.
read
I was
in
the
plane.
Eagle
old
and
days.
Child, also known as the Bird and Baby, which I meant to throw off folks.
I was so
The
sure
baby
I
and
got
bird.
Yeah.
Isn't this where Christopher Lee met Tolkien?
Ooh, maybe.
Or is that a different pub?
It could be the same
I've been
pub.
there.
That's who said that, by the way. Who was that?
Me.
You predicted
Yeah,
the
same
future
pub.
on something, but
Oh,
hopefully
yeah.
people are paying attention.
It's hard to tell who's saying anything since
Yeah,
we
it's
can't
just-
see each other.
Oh
There
my
it is.
God.
Princess Toy
I am
Nerd.
so
Down.
Princess Toy Nerd.
Oh
Woo!
man.
I look at
The
number
heck?
8 is it's the password.
Cliff, you're
I'm shocked.
canceled.
Yep. Here we
I'm
go.
so shocked.
What the
Ahead.
heck? Whoops.
Queen Elizabeth II awarded Tolkien the Commander of the Order of the British Empire in what year?
I gotta guess.
OBE.
I can't push anything here.
I don't even know.
Is that a random person getting it, or is that Tolkien? Well, no, that's the person with the crown. So never mind.
Okay, so I couldn't push anything. I wouldn't let me push.
Yeah, that is not the actual photo of him receiving that.
Yeah.
Where did that photo come from? To be
I
honest,
think I got
Google.
it wrong twice.
There's this
That's
place
random
called
pictures from Google.
there's this
Google
place called
Images.
Google that I randomly searched this.
The Google.
Okay. Google Images it was awesome.
Which one of these is the title of one of Tolkien's slightly less read books?
Guys, did you know that Marion Zimmer Bradley helped put out a CD of Tolkien music?
No,
No.
that's cool.
Yeah, I got the CD.
I heard that.
The
Yeah.
Starlight Jewel.
Yes. I have to
That's
figure out
cool.
where. Yes.
So like the various songs that are in his books.
Yes.
Oh,
and Marion
cool.
Zimmer Bradley composed
Cool.
the music to it.
Put it in chat so we can all look it up and then collectively
Yeah.
record it
There you go. Yeah.
for our collection.
Checking it out.
I composed a lot of songs to some of the poems from Lord of the Rings when I was in college.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Sang a couple of them in performance.
That's really cool. If you have that somewhere, put it in the chat too, so we can link to
Trying to remember if I have any reasonable recordings. I think I have the Goldberries song somewhere.
it. Nice. All right, we're gonna move on. Ready? Next question.
Yeah.
This Tolkien word means a sudden turn of ending events, which ensures the protagonist will not meet their doom.
You're going to pronounce it this time, right?
Yep. It's actually super easy. I didn't realize how
Yeah,
easy
it
it was.
is.
I don't know.
Yes.
I learned this from Tolkien Professor. He really loves it.
There are those of us who have a slight advantage right now. We just have to remember all the answers.
All right.
A lonely mountain band?
Catastrophe.
That's so
You
cool.
catastrophe. All right. Next one. In his retirement years, Tolkien was a consultant and translator for the Jerusalem Bible. Which book did he translate?
Wow.
Oh, I did not know this.
You know, I've realized that when I'm not sure what the answer is, I always go for the red one.
It's a psychological.
I think I just realized that I've been doing that because it stands out.
But unfortunately, there's.
Oh, good
orange.
God! And I was right.
Red is your friend.
Totally.
On my
by
screen,
accident.
it's orange, so you know there's
It
that.
is. It's officially orange,
I
but
have
we'll go like.
maroon.
It looks
Mine.
red on my laptop, but
Looks
it's
All
red
but
on
it
my
is
computer,
orange.
but it looks orange on my phone.
Yeah, you're right. It's orange on the phone. Ooh.
Princess Toy Nerd is
There it
maintaining the lead.
Wow.
Oh,
I pay
Right.
attention.
where am I?
Catching up to
Oh, there I
Cliff.
am.
Oh, I'm at
Oh,
a
not
good
too bad. I have yet to break that top 10.
Fight for last place, Octavio.
I'm getting the bragging rights because I'm beating Cliff right now.
Yes. It's great.
All right, here we go. Next round. Which member of the Lord of the Rings trilogy
come on.
cast met Professor Tolkien?
Oh my God.
No one's gonna get this one wrong either.
And he's not even in there.
Well, that's a way
funny.
of giving away the
Why did
answer.
you look at that photo?
That is funny.
It's a trick image.
Hey, you try finding a picture of Christopher Lee with the cast. Oh wait, I
Ian Holm is not there either.
Christopher Lee. Yes.
Yep.
What a legend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Indeed.
You realize 2 out of these 4 are dead already. Wow.
Which character from the Lord of the Rings did Tolkien comment was most like him?
Oh, no, I got it wrong. I know I got it wrong.
Don't go by the picture, by the way. That's my.
It's
That's
the
not
flying
Frodo.
tackle hug. I love flying tackle hugs.
I wish I could do that in real life.
Yeah.
Oh,
I realized I was wrong right after I did it.
It was actually in his
Did he ever say why?
letter 180. If you Google Tolkien's letter 180, you can see where he talks about it. Actually,
I thought he said at one point that he was most like Sam. And
he
then
did.
Sam
He
wasn't
referenced.
in there.
There was
And
part.
referencing how he was felt more like a hobbit.
Yeah, I always thought he was Bilbo Baggins,
chose
but
Bilbo for that exact reason.
Yep.
I picked
Check out,
Bilbo because I thought he said Sam.
you should have put
Makes
Baron
zero
up there though
sense.
as the real tease.
Oh,
That's true. I should have.
how many
Ooh.
people would have gotten that one wrong?
What's
All right.
the correct answer?
Tolkien, like
was the-
Faramir, had a recurring dream of a great overwhelming wave. Which of his children also experienced the same dream?
Wow.
Total guess.
Total guess, and I decided not to go with red this time.
Flipper, what you reading?
I was actually looking at letter number 180.
Oh wow, no one got this.
Wow. One person got it right.
Wow, that's what I
Wow.
call. That's what I call a great question.
As a teacher, that's what I call a bad question, but
Thank you.
A good
Thank
but
you.
you haven't been
Hold on.
teaching us, so you
We
know.
have to thank Mad-Eye Gamgee, who won, I believe, earlier today for that question, which he sent to me after today's earlier event. So that was pretty good.
Excellent.
All right. Which of
I'm
these
ready.
is actually a real J.R.R. Tolkien quote? And yep, it's going to take a while to read.
That's a good one.
It is.
I had an
I
entire
think I got
wall
this
in
one
my
now.
old house where I just covered in Tolkien quotes. So
It just sounded like something he would say.
got-
That's why I picked it,
Oh.
because he was such a lover of myths.
Holy crap.
Yep.
Yeah, that one makes more sense, but I put the dragon in because it's a dragon.
Dragon.
All right,
I
so
guess the win.
Oh my
Princess
gosh, I'm
Toy
so
Nerd.
ahead.
Didn't go too bad.
Nice.
And
All right,
I am
so I
at
believe this is
exactly
the
the
last-
same ranking as I was before. That's
This is-
sad.
This is the last question, I believe,
Uh-oh.
where it's worth
Oh.
5,000 points.
Oh, this is the $5
my
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, you ready?
Oh,
Do it.
no, no, I'm never
Please
ready
do
for
this.
All I
Do
want to
it.
say is don't answer quickly. That's
Okay.
all I'm going to tell you.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay.
Don't be hasty.
Don't be hasty.
Much too hasty.
Yeah, because it's very hard if you're too hasty.
I was hasty.
And ta-da! Good job.
Yay.
All right, and our final score. Princess.
Princess Toy Nerd.
Oh,
Made it to fifth. Woohoo!
That's great.
Didn't make it back up in the top five. Bummer.
Still at
Third.
fandom.
Well,
Happier
I
than
went,
Time where
I
I was
went
at 37.
by one.
Thank you,
I went by
everybody. Hope you had
one.
fun doing that.
That was nerve
That was
wracking.
great.
oh my
That was fun.
If you can
Hope
look,
everyone had fun there. I think that's a pretty fun platform. I was saying earlier today, gathering like this, while awesome on specific celebrations like Tolkien's birthday and other events, we need to be doing this more often, I think, as a community to hang out and maybe do some more of these types of games and just chat. But speaking of chatting, the next, thing we were going to do is a little bit of time of fellowship. And the question we were talking about earlier today was, how were you introduced to Tolkien? And where, what influenced you to find his writings? And we had some amazing stories earlier today. So we'd love to find, feel free to just rate. You can use the raise your hand emoji thingy. There's at the bottom, it says reactions. You can raise your hand and you can speak. But whoever wants to go, feel free to go.
my mom read me The Hobbit when I was about 8. Well, she started with Fellowship, and I had a complete mental breakdown when Gandalf went over the bridge. So I'm back to The Hobbit. Then went back to and reread it myself when I was about 10, and read it. Absolutely loved it. Then got brought back into it with Peter Jackson stuff. And if anybody can see this, here's a picture of the CD.
Oh, cool.
That's what it looks like.
Okay, Scarlet Jewel.
Very
Yes.
cool.
Very cool.
So that should hopefully help anyone who's trying to order it.
Nice.
I actually don't remember the first time I heard Tolkien. One of my earliest memories was listening to The Hobbit before I went to bed as a kid.
Oh, as an audiobook or like what as a
Parents
movie?
reading?
Audiobook.
Parents reading? Cool.
It was
remember-
actually the old vinyl record. It
Wow,
was like abridged.
that's awesome.
I remember stealing it from my cousin's house and just like reading the whole thing, but not reading The Hobbit because I was scared to for some reason for many, many years.
Oh wow, David,
Aw.
that's pretty funny. So that you stole. This should be clear for the authorities that might be watching. You stole. You stole a copy of the Lord of the Rings
from my cousin.
and then you hadn't read The Hobbit. When did you
It
eventually
is my
read The Hobbit?
precious. What?
Yeah, when did you ever end up reading The
I
Hobbit?
ended up reading it by my a friend's house, which I'm actually in his house right now. It's funny.
Nice.
And then I
That's
got
awesome.
I picked up the copy only really like a year or so ago. But
Nice.
yeah, I've stuck those books also into like camps and places where I wasn't allowed to read books really. And I used to have the most innovative way of hiding them. I remember one summer I had a place where they didn't let you bring any books, and I used to hide them in the ceiling rafters. I had this elaborate way of climbing out and get them every night.
Wow.
what kind of hellhole were you in?
Yeah,
where they-
exactly.
They don't let you read books.
The anti-Tolkien League, you know what I'm saying?
That's
No, like
crazy.
Fahrenheit
very
451.
seclusive background, but
Gotcha. All right, you don't have to go into detail. That's great. That's awesome. Thanks, David, for sharing. I really
To the
appreciate that.
professor.
We're gonna go with the hands being raised, which I see the Khan family, my new favorite family, which reminds me. I just real quick. I grew up in a family of 6 kids. The youngest is 6, and my favorite memories are playing, game night, gathering at the table, like you guys in your dining room, and just hanging out as a family. That is awesome. So anyway, Khan family, go ahead. Tell us about your introduction to Tolkien.
All right. Well, we all love Tolkien. I read them when I was in like middle school, and then later my mom read them to all of us, so we all read them together. And we went to Oxford, the Eagle and Child, and Tolkien's gravestone, and it was really cool. And we cried.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
Really enriched our family.
Well, it's so we're privileged to have you guys join us like this, from your dining room table. Essentially, it's awesome. Thank you for
Go
participating.
Kings, go.
Thanks for doing this.
You guys
We're
are
glad
doing
we
it right.
could.
This is really classy. It's more class than we deserve, actually. I love it. I think it's great.
I want to see a knife blunted and a fork bent.
All right, Taddy, I think I'm pronouncing your name right. I think you're up next. Oh wait, you're still muted. Oh, we can't hear you for some reason. We'll come back to you though. Don't give up. Keep trying, and then just interrupt. Feel free to just keep trying and testing. Meanwhile, we'll go to SJ.
Hello again.
Hello.
Yeah, so I was here earlier in the day with my dad. So again, he's the one who introduced me to Tolkien, I think since birth.
That's
and
awesome.
He started reading it in high school because the cute hippie chicks were reading it in the clover in front, and he wanted to talk to them. And then he realized the books were actually really good, and the rest is history.
And thus passed it down to generations.
Yeah. My first academic paper that I presented at a conference, like on my own, I flew to Wales to give this presentation, was on Samwise Gamgee through book 1 of Lord of the Rings.
Wow, that's awesome.
So that was nerve-wracking, but a lot of fun too. So I don't think I could ever put the books down or away, and I'm always thinking about them anyway. So,
well, you're amongst friends
Sam are my
here.
2 favorite characters.
Okay, now you can hear me?
Yes, Taddy, we can hear you.
Okay. Hi to everyone. I would like to introduce me. I'm from Colombia. I've been a long time being with you in the Ring1Net.
Nice.
I love to be, I don't know, maybe since I was a kid, I loved like fairies and all that stuff. So I've been interested in the Tolkien world since I find a book in my school, but it was in English. So I learned to speak English just to read it.
Wow.
Wow. And since then, you can hear me and I can talk. I have a little shame, but I can speak it very slowly. But thanks to that book, I've been talking English and being interested in talking world since then.
Taddy, that's amazing.
In this moment, I'm reading The Hobbit to my boy, and he loves it. And we heard it in Spotify. You can had a lot of So he is learning English too because I had The Hobbit read English book.
That's so wonderful. How amazing.
So, hugs from here, and thank you for all this. It's very fun.
Wonderful to have you. Hugs right back at you. Thank you so much. Ellen.
Has anyone read Tolkien's books in a language that's not English? Raise your hand. So.
But here, in Spanish too, I have read it, but I don't know if you can hear it too.
Yeah, I tried it in Hebrew.
I've tried in French. It's tricky.
Yeah, they don't really translate very well.
Yeah, I did that for a French class when I was like a senior in high school.
Interesting. All right, let's get back to Ellen.
Oh.
How are you introduced to Tolkien?
I was introduced when my brother gave me this book when I was a child. I was probably about 10 when he gave me this copy, which has some really amazing illustrations. If nobody else has this particular edition, it's gorgeous. So I was actually a little too young to read it when I got it. I waited, I think, about a year before I read it. But this was basically the first book that I fully got. I always got my books from the library, but it was the first book that I was gifted. So there you go.
That's awesome and super special.
It's gorgeous illustrations.
Who is the illustrator? Can you read it off the front?
Yeah, it's Michael Hague, Hague.
That's cool.
Michael Hague.
Thanks, Ellen. Hey, Jacqueline, you're up next, and then Princess Toy Nerd, our reigning champion after Jacqueline.
I first really fell in love with it with the BBC radio production.
Oh, that's a good one.
Incredible. It was what we played on every family drive. My sisters and I can still basically quote it to each other. We just know it all so well. And then I fell in love with Tolkien. I read all of it. I got this in middle school. It's the centenary with the Alan Lee watercolor. And this is a brick, but I put this in my backpack every day to take to school. I just I've read it so many times.
Oh, let me see if I can grab my edition. I need to get a new hardback. Mine's getting beat up. I want to get.
That's awesome.
There's a gorgeous set. It's like green and gold. I want to get it, but it's $400. It's kind of.
That's the Alan Lee picture.
It's from like 2009. I've read it so many times. It's falling. It's a little bit beat up.
Everyone needs multiple copies, Jazz. Everyone needs multiple copies.
This is the one I
Thank you,
write.
Jacqueline. Thank you,
I've got
Jacqueline.
3 versions on my bookcase right now. I have 3 versions.
Yep. All right, Princess Toy Nerd, reigning champion for the trivia. How did you first experience Tolkien?
Well, the animated cartoons for one.
Yes. Yes.
I was 10 then.
Yep.
I was 10 when I saw the animated cartoons. But this, well, I got this in 2003. It's all taped up.
Wow.
You can see how many times I've read it and how long I've actually had it.
Amazing.
That's awesome.
But the real kicker was me watching the first Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings movie while I was still in high school. So there you have it.
That brought it home.
I was only 8 then. I didn't get to watch
And it makes some of us feel old.
Yeah, that copy you have there reminds me of I've been very I keep using the word privileged because it truly is a privilege that I randomly stumbled upon making this website and randomly met an amazing group of people and randomly got to do insane things like go to the Cannes Film Festival when they had a party with the Lord of the Rings cast in 2000 before the movie was even out, and that copy was given to all the party guests. And I, with all the cast, I got to drink with John Rhys Davies and his wife, and I'm going a little crazy. But the one person I wanted their autograph was Mark Rudetsky, who funded the making of the films, and so he still to this day knows me as the person that came up to get. He was the first time I asked him for an autograph. Anybody asked him for an autograph, and it's on that copy of that book. And I still have that one, but I haven't touched it. It's
no.
pristine. Thank you so much for sharing. Princess Toyner, what is your actual name, if you don't mind sharing?
Why would I say that?
Okay, no, don't. You don't have to. Obviously, it's Princess Toynard.
Well, I do love toys, and I kind of am a nerd, so there you have it.
That's perfect. That's awesome. Who else would like to
Thanks.
share?
I was going to share something, and I already shared earlier on the earlier one, how I grew up on a street called Gondor, so I was kind of always destined to be a Tolkien fan. But,
that's so cool.
But seeing like the fandom start up when the movies came up, seeing how many new people it brought to the books. I studied Taekwondo, and there was this one father and son that used to come to classes. And when the movies came out, they loved them, so they started to read the book. And this family was from Puerto Rico, and English was a second language, and they were really struggling with Tolkien's words and being able to read that story, particularly concerning hobbits is kind of a slightly boring chapter. And that's how it starts, unlike The Hobbit. So I basically handed him my copy of The Hobbit, and I said, okay, start with this one. The language is easier. You get right into the action quicker. And once you come out the other end, you will be more familiar with the world and can go back and read the book. And so he did that. 2 or 3 weeks later, he came back and said, we finished The Hobbit, we're ready now. And that helped him read The Lord of the Rings to his son, reading where English was his second language. So that was just kind of a cool story of sharing and seeing somebody else's first experience.
When I got my hands on The Hobbit, I binge read the damn thing in a single day.
Nice.
My dad somehow did that with Lord of the Rings, and I'm like, did you sleep? He did it over a weekend. I'm like, did you sleep at all?
Yeah.
Hey, Nadia, were you trying to raise your hand physically? I thought I saw that.
Well, I got Matt up here, and if Nadia's next, that's cool. I've got Matt raised your hand up there. How you doing, Matt? Oh, can you hear Matt? You there?
Matt Van. Oh, there he is.
Oh, we can't hear you for some reason. No problem. Take your time. There's no rush. Cliff, while Cliff goes, we can't hear you.
Oh, there it is. Okay. I think my audio's on now.
Take your time. There's no rush. Cliff. Oh, hey, I can hear myself. You want to turn off the audio on the live stream or whatever?
Okay. Keep going.
Some latency.
Oh, hey, I can hear myself. You want to turn
He's got two devices open.
I'm going to mute you real quick. Just, Matt, you're watching it like on the live stream somewhere, Facebook, YouTube, whatever. You want to mute that one or turn the sound off on that one so that you can talk to us in the Zoom one. You know what I mean? There you go.
There we go. Is that better now?
Yeah, there you go. You're good.
No, okay. Sorry about that.
No problem.
Yeah. So I was first introduced to Tolkien's works in elementary school. They had, I don't know if people around my age will have known this when they incorporated the accelerated reader thing in a lot of schools.
I remember that.
Take a little test and they give you a sort of range of your reading level. For my grade, I was in 4th grade and I scored like a 7 point something to a 12 point something. And it was like impossibly high for an elementary school library. There was like nothing left there that really caught my interest at that level. And it was just kind of like, but I just wanted to read whatever I was reading at the point. I had finished all the Chronicles of Narnia books, but those were all like 3 point something, 4 point something. And so I couldn't read those. But I mean, naturally, the next thing after Narnia, the librarian suggested to me, hey, well, The Hobbit is ranked like a 4 point something, but you have to read that first because Lord of the Rings is like a 9 point something or whatever, but you have to read The Hobbit first. So I'm going to write your teacher a special note, let you read The Hobbit first, write it off as like, even though it's like, a different point value or whatever. So I started with The Hobbit, went on to Lord of the Rings right after, and then dove straight into the Silmarillion at 13, then got way too intimidated by it, took a break, and came back to it, and now that's my favorite of all the books. So
yeah.
That's
awesome. Well, that's just a testament to teachers, librarians, keeping kids engaged. I mean, that's so many stories earlier today were the same way, introduced by a librarian or by their teacher. It's not always a familial deal. It's something that's, someone takes that time to invest in a child, which is just so wonderful. Thanks, Matt. I appreciate it. Cliff, you had your hand up next. Then we'll go to Laura, and then Diana and Todd.
Well, very quickly, I wanted to really appreciate Princess Toy Nerd for mentioning what I was going to mention, the animated films, and there's a couple of them to choose from, had brought me to the point of discovery. I was only 10 years old, and they broadcast The Hobbit by Rankin and Bass. It came on the television, and at that point in time, my older brother and I were realizing with great shock and surprise, not only was there a beautiful animated film, but there was a book. There's actually a book. It's called The Hobbit. Really? So we were really thirsty to get our hands on it. He was 12 and a half. I was 10 years old. It was just perfect. And here I have in my very hands the original gift that I got as an 11-year-old with my boxed set of the paperback Ballantine editions.
I think that's the one I had, Cliff. Wow. I think it's the same kind. I think that's the same one I had. That's awesome.
Really?
I think my dad had those.
The most dog-eared edition. It's just part. These books are like shredded paper, but I will never ever forget what it was like to jockey with my brother to try to get the books and read them when he was not reading them, and try to get my hands on them when I could, and it brought out this delightful competitive streak with my brother, who unfortunately I lost this year in April, and so there's always this sense of brotherhood in a very real sense that I've always shared with my brother, and reading books like this with people who I love and my friends. It's just a really great streak. I don't know how to describe it really, except you know it when you get there. Somebody who's got this great common denominator of loving Tolkien's works. As soon as you meet someone like that, you know you're going to be a friend. You know you've met an instant friend. You know there's somebody that you can relate to and really talk to about good stuff. It's kind of magical. And I don't know what it is. It's just, forgive me. At some point, I just get at a loss for words. And maybe that's because my memories of Tolkien and his books are inextricably aligned with my early childhood and, the very best of times with my brother, whom I sorely miss. But he would have loved this little gathering that we're doing, and this kind of conversation and community. He would have loved this very much. So thanks for putting this together, Chris. It's awesome.
Well, thanks for all your help doing it.
My sorely missed.
May I say, just for a moment, can we all raise a glass in memory of Cliff's brother who passed earlier this year?
I'm so
Memory of
sorry,
Cliff's
Cliff.
brother.
One second.
I'm so sorry.
I'm
so sorry, Cliff. I don't have a glass, but I have this bowl.
Sean.
That works. The bowl works.
Sean.
That's fine.
Cheers.
I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. I'm gonna be a mom here because I kept getting bumped earlier. Nadia does want to talk.
All right, let's go with Nadia. That sounds good. Nadia, where are you?
Unmute yourself, dear.
I was I lost my courage to speak.
Oh, that's okay. No.
Okay, I was
Come on. No, we want to know how you found out about how you learned about Tolkien.
Actually, it was kind of funny. I was really young when the movies came out, and so my dad brought home a movie, and he said, that he had the Harry Potter movies. Yeah.
Got him wrong. You
But
got
it
him
was-
wrong.
But it was a Fellowship of the Ring. So it is really fun. I was like 7 years old, and so but I really liked it, me and my sisters, and so that was a happy accident, and then well I read the books many years later because I never bought them. And I read The Hobbit first, and I loved it. I was obsessed when the news came out that there was going to be a Hobbit
Yeah, the Hobbit films. Yep.
I was all hyped up and really excited, and yeah. And later on, I mean, this year for me was like Tolkien's year. I was involved in many activities about Tolkien. I learned Tengwar. I learned
Nice.
how to write.
Cool.
There was a course. I am from Mexico, and there was a course on Tengwar, and I participated. So now I and runes, also runes. And
I
so
do it too.
that's what I did this year, and also I did an essay about dead Tolkien's world, and so yeah. Also, I wanted to say that the family here reminded me of my boyfriend's family. They
Oh, not
always
again.
play together board games. They have many Hobbit board games. They have like 2 different or 3 different ones, and so when I go to their place, it's really fun because I can I can get involved in that too. So.
Yeah, that's such a fun time. Nadia, thank you so much for sharing that. And I think that's one of the best things I've ever heard. It's the best happy accident ever for your father to bring home Harry Potter and the Fellowship of the Ring. That's really classic.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
That's
Thank
great.
you for sharing.
Great story.
And sorry for missing you earlier with the hand raised in the,
that's
the
okay.
darkness there.
No problem.
Laura, I had you next here.
Sure, thank you so much. Happy Tolkien's birthday to everybody. It's almost 11 o'clock where I am in Wheaton, Illinois, and I know we were talking about librarians earlier. I have the privilege as an archivist, which is kind of like in the family of librarians, of helping to preserve Tolkien's desk where he wrote The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings at the Marion E. Wade Center. And I remember meeting Cliff there a few years ago when you were doing your crazy, like, across the US live stream expedition that you were on.
Laura, that's you.
Yeah.
Welcome to the chat.
Hi from Beyond Debris.
And
That
we're closed due to COVID right now, but I hope y'all can come out and see Tolkien's original desk anytime you're in the Chicago area.
Laura, do you ever remember somebody coming in with a little Pippin doll?
Oh, I don't.
You don't? Okay.
I'm
There was a Pippin doll that was being mailed around the world.
Okay.
And I took pictures of the Pip doll and Stu at that desk at your library, and then somebody stole the doll.
No, that's horrible.
That's supposed to, you
never
can't
saw it again.
You can't end a nice story like just skip that part.
I'm sorry.
I work down the hall in the reading room, so I don't always get to see who comes in to view the desk, but
Okay.
I'm glad that you have that memory at least.
Oh, it's a long time ago. This was, my God, that was probably about 2005 or 4. I lived in the Chicagoland area for about 8 years, but a whole bunch of us went up to Marquette.
Cool.
Awesome. Yeah, that's where they have the original manuscripts. I have a college Tolkien society, and I take them up there every other year. And we celebrated the toast 2 hours earlier tonight, so I'm trying to hit all the time zones. This is really fun.
Great.
Good for you.
Can I say a very big thank you, Laura, for inviting TheOneRing.net to come over to Wheaton and to see all the wonderful things you have there at the library and the actual writing desk. It
We'd
was
love
such
to
a
have you guys back, and we do a podcast too. If you ever want to collab, we can put you in touch with people who.
Yes,
do that,
for
so.
sure. Justin, you was on
awesome.
that. Justin's hiding behind the Time for Fellowship Zoom window down there, and he was on that trip with you, right, Cliff? Like that, you guys.
Yes, we were live streaming on a special road to Dragon Con. We were doing a live stream coast to coast across the country from Los Angeles to Atlanta to celebrate Dragon Con, and it was wild. What
What
a
year
trip.
was that? Cliff, what year was that?
My gosh, Justin,
It was the Hobbit
7 or
years.
8 years ago?
It was the
14.
Hobbit years that we don't like to talk about.
It was 13 or 14. I think it was around there, if I recall. Remember, it was a time when you could actually go places and do things.
Oh my
That
gosh.
was-
What is that
Yeah,
even
I don't
like
remember
now?
what that's like.
I don't either.
Remember those
Before
days?
times.
Go
Yeah.
places?
Yeah, what's that about?
So
All right,
go-
hey,
go
Diana
never
and
heard of this
Todd.
concept before.
Diana and Todd have been patiently waiting to
Wait, I've
share
been
how
places before?
they were introduced to Tolkien.
Well, I was a mom and I hadn't heard of them as I was growing up, but I had a 6-year-old and a 5-year-old, and I came across this puzzle from
Wait, I gotta look
1979. Can you see it?
Hold on,
Yeah.
I'm spotlighting it.
It was
Oh,
19.
wow.
Oh, that's from the regular, that's from the really fast sheet.
1978.
Yeah.
Ralph
This
Lord of the
on
Rings.
it says 1979, and then from there we got the animated movies, and they loved them. And then we I didn't know about the books. I just didn't know about these things. But then when the Peter Jackson brought out all those things, then I saw the movies and read all the books and the Silmarillion and all those. It's been really great. And thanks to you, Chris, and also to Cliff. I think you helped me get involved through the Torn.
Yeah.
To come to
I'm
your parties and things.
Yeah, I remember you at the parties. Such a great time, such great memories. And you know what? It's so funny. I've heard from you today and then from others. You know, a lot of folks often get frustrated with when something is adapted, right, into a film or a TV show or whatever. And that if there's anything more clear to me, it's that these adaptations, whether they're good or not, like in our case, you know, thankfully Lord of the Rings was great, right? And whether they're good or not, introduce people to the world, right? That's why I'm personally excited. I'm personally excited about the Amazon series because we're going to have a whole new generation of folks who are introduced to Tolkien. Like now, whether it's amazing or not, right? There's going to be people that spin the wheels and be like, oh, what was this about? Oh, here's the Hobbit, here's the Lord of the Rings, and here's the Silmarillion, and your story is the same. Like it's just, it's one of those things that I'm so enthusiastic for people to learn more about these worlds, and I'm so happy that we can help facilitate that in some very minute little way. And I really appreciate you coming. You guys, it's just good to see your face. I haven't seen you guys since the parties.
Yeah,
So it's been...
really. And one thing I wanted to kind of piggyback, I was going to think of it, but as you were saying that, I'm noticing with like some of the kids in the younger generation, because I'm a grandmother now, they don't know a lot. You're talking about Tolkien, they don't know about a lot of the authors we grew up with. And the real nice classical things. And so, yeah, so since you're talking about the Amazon thing, that's going to get more people out there into the Tolkien.
100%. Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much for sharing. Did anybody else want to say something? Nancy, go ahead, Nancy.
I can't get the little raise hand to work.
That's okay. That's all right.
But people were showing their first books, so I thought I'd sort of come in here. This is my first copy.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Ballantine 1965 third printing, and I got it in 66.
That's one of the ones that was kind of a bootleg, right?
Of course, I've got others. Says apart.
Yeah, but wasn't there a set that somebody just basically made a copy of?
Well, no, I was a Valentine.
You're
these are
talking
Val-
about the
Oh,
Ace books.
I mean, I don't mean a photocopies because photocopies weren't around,
You're-
but
You're
there was.
talking about the Ace edition, I think.
Okay, that's right. That's right.
Hang on a sec, I'll show you that.
Oh, awesome.
Oh my
That's
God.
awesome. Hold on a sec. I'll show you that.
Yep.
I love it.
That's great. Love it.
Diane, by the way, I have some of those
Wow, look at that.
things as well, like from the back sheet.
Mhm.
I also have both posters. I have the poster that has Sam and Frodo up on a hill with the battle going on down below them. I got to show them to Peter Beagle a few years
that's
back in
cool.
Illinois.
Okay,
That's
I keep
great.
knocking
So
myself.
let's see these books.
Here's the rest of the Ace.
Oh my
my
God.
Wow, that's so cool.
And of
I've
course, they
never
were
seen
able to
anything
publish
like that
because Tolkien's
before.
publishers had not followed the letter of the law about importing books from England. And there was a considerable debate as about copyright. And Ace took advantage of it to publish theirs. And the reason the texts differ is because Ace copied the first edition text. And in order to secure copyright, Tolkien revised his text for the second edition, which came out with the Valentine books, and is what we read now. So one of the reasons, if you come across one of these Ace books, that you'll find differences in the text, particularly in Volume 1, some of these differences are the changes which Tolkien made. And one of the changes was the addition of the standing silence at the field of Cormallen and Frodo's refusal to wear a sword. That's not in the first edition.
Huh.
Wow.
The changes are nowhere as near as big as in The Hobbit, of course, but there are some little changes in there. Before I sign off, I'd also let people know that I published the newsletter Beyond Bree. We have a new website. I posted it.
I saw that.
Cool. Welcome.
I saw that.
Beyondbree.org. I cut myself off trying to write that thing. https://beyondbree.org. And we also can, for those older people from last year's dinners, will remember Beyond Bree puts out a calendar.
Yeah, I just looked at the website. You have it on the front page of the website.
It's
There.
on
That's
the
awesome.
website. Here we got Tolkien's desk. There it is, picture of it.
Wow.
On the back side. And there's still some calendars available. Ted Naismith, John, some new authors. So if anybody's interested in that, instructions are on the website, but we're old fashioned. You got to email me. Actually, you can't just click and get a link.
Imagine that's old fashioned now.
Email beyondbree@yahoo.com if you're going to.
Nancy, I have a question for you.
Sure.
Do you know about the more recent edition that Christopher Tolkien released of Lord of the Rings, where he refined it so that it was about as close to what he thought his father wanted as possible? Do you know about that one? It was like another, like the red volume. It was in black though, but it was all one big volume in a sleeve. Do you know about that one?
There was one, I don't remember the exact, it was 2000 something or other, supposedly the most up-to-date, most correct, most everything.
I think it was the 50th anniversary text revision, which had
Yeah.
scholars went up to Marquette University to look at the original manuscripts and root out all the printing errors that had happened over the years and other editions. So I think they made between 300 and 400 different corrections, and that's the 50th anniversary text, which is in a lot of the printed volumes now have that.
Right. I was just wondering if you thought that was Christopher Tolkien
No, it
attempting
was-
to extend the copyright.
No, I think it was Hammond and Scull were the scholars who did the actual work, not Christopher.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, the copyright would have been extended, but Laura, you would know about that. The most recent edition, which is not Christopher Tolkien, is the illustrated Unfinished Tales, which came out this October.
Which is beautiful.
Yeah, I
Nicely
have that.
done.
Oh, wow.
And also the Tolkien calendar, where you could actually see the pictures better than in the book. So,
Nancy, thank you so much. And thank you. That's beyondbree.org, I believe is what you said. And
beyondbree.org.
cool. Thank you so much for that. Is there anyone else who'd like to share? It's past midnight my time. I might be logging off.
Really lovely for Nancy to stop by. Really nice to see you. That's great.
Yeah.
I just
Sleep
wanted
is for
to
the week.
say hi to Clifford.
Just quoted Sideshow. Who did that?
Hi, Savannah. Well, S.J. Lee. That's my first name.
Oh, there you
Savannah.
go.
So
Nice.
I met you. Where are you? Yeah, I met you in Houston when I was in high school.
Oh my gosh, was that when we were driving through the cross country on our way to DragonCon?
I think so. I was with my dad.
Wow. It sounds like we need to do another cross-country trip when there's no pandemic, by the way.
Yeah, I no longer live in
we had a
Houston.
big
I live
lunch
in
at the Hobbit
New Mexico.
restaurant?
Yeah, the Hobbit Cafe.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that sounds like somebody should open that as an actual cafe. That sounds amazing.
No, it is an actual cafe. It's great.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I need to go
Massive.
there.
SJ, where is that?
Houston, Texas.
Oh, wow. Okay.
There's also a Hobbit restaurant in Alexandria, Virginia, I believe.
Oh, that's
Yeah, I've been to that one.
3
Yeah.
hours for me.
There's also a Treebeards, which is a restaurant, but then there's also another Treebeards.
Their service is really slow, though. So just
Oh,
there's a
so
bean shop
bad.
at Treebeards as well.
Isn't there one in Michigan somewhere too?
I don't know.
Something like, I think it's called Bilbo Baggins or something.
There's a restaurant
can't take
called the
Chris
Boston
anywhere.
House
Chris,
called the
where
Green
are
Dragon.
you if you're midnight?
I'm based in, I live in Allentown, Pennsylvania. So
Wait,
I'm over on
Kelsey, you're in Allentown?
I am. Why?
I'm
Are
in
you my neighbor?
Pittsburgh, for crying out loud.
Wow, that grew up in Pittsburgh. That's why we get along. It's, I grew up in Pittsburgh. I lived there for
Oh, for goodness
18
sake.
years.
What are you on Facebook?
What am I on Facebook? Chris Parada. That's my name.
Okay. I
me up.
never knew your name. Kalasuri is all I've ever known.
Kalasuri, yeah. I have someone
God.
sneakily put in a phrase from my real job. I work full time for a company called Sideshow. We make collectibles and stuff. And someone said sleep is for the weak, which is our tagline for our event. And
That's my brother.
Okay.
That's
my dad was on here as well earlier. We're all on separate computers, but we're in the same house.
Awesome.
We didn't want to fight for audio, but my dad went to bed. My brother's downstairs.
You got the cupboard.
I'm in the kitchen.
I was gonna say you got the kitchen
cupboard.
That's the best room in
Yeah, I'm in front of the open pantry.
Nice.
Next to the plants.
Anybody else want to share like what inspired, how you came to find Tolkien?
I guess maybe
Arnie, is that down there? Yeah, there you go. I see you.
Pronounced Arna.
Arna, sorry.
Okay. I got introduced to you're asking about how we got introduced to Tolkien, right?
Yep, exactly. Yes.
All right. I got introduced to Tolkien, when the first movie, The Fellowship of the Ring, came out, and my mom's family took me to see it at the Cinemark in Fort Collins, Colorado, back Christmas 2001. When I first saw the first 30 or 40 minutes of it, I got scared of it, and I dragged my mom out of the theater to take us to see the first Harry Potter movie instead. But after a few months, I decided to give the movie another chance, so we ended up seeing it at the Premiere 8 in Nashua, New Hampshire, and it started to grow on me. I decided to watch it a few more times. I then grew more excited about it when The Two Towers came out, and that when I found out that there was an animated version, I was compelled to watch that as well. So, and my mom got it for me as a Christmas gift in Christmas 2002. So, and I got into it later. I mean,
That's
the
awesome.
Two Towers brought me a step higher to developing my interest in Middle Earth. And when The Return of the King finally came out, I was like a huge inspired fan later. I mean, and I started watching I started owning a lot of the BBC's Tolkien documentary DVDs. One of them was one of the series which involved Graham McTavish as the host, showing us around the countryside where J.R.R. Tolkien grew up and things. And all of it started to feel like home to me, growing up with these books. So, I mean,
Awesome.
I read the Hobbit books like many times. I've read only the Lord of the Rings like once or twice. So,
Ooh, ooh.
I've read it 3 times too, 4 times partially through.
Yeah, I think a lot of people on this call probably have read in the hundreds of times. I don't know. There's a lot of folks who've read it many, many times, I'm sure, at this point.
I've watched the movies a million times.
Yeah, yep. Yeah.
I mean,
that's really awesome. Well, no, it's another example of what I was saying earlier, is the movies introduced folks to this whole new world. And it's so wonderful that it helped you as well come into the Tolkien world. There's so much there as well, even outside Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. And we'll see where it goes with this Amazon show. Who knows? Could be pretty amazing. I think Martha. There you go, Martha.
So I'm sort of feeling quite old here because I must have read Tolkien before I started university, and that was 1970. I looked at my books, went upstairs. This is a volume from 73. So I have no idea where my original books are. Obviously, I don't have them. But what I wanted to say was that when I started, being a young teenage girl, it was the romance, I have to admit, that got me hooked on Lord of the Rings the first time. And then you read it again, and then it was the language. And I can remember passing notes in Elvish script under the door of my neighbor at university, and that was first year. And then you read it again, and it becomes the fellowship and the mythology. And I think then, life gets in the way and you don't read it that much. And then the movies come up. And since then, I've probably listened to it more than read it, because the recorded books issue of the book, if you have trouble reading it, to listen to the audiobook is read beautifully. But I think Kat always argues that the songs weren't done all that well, but that's beside the point.
Mm-hmm.
But when I listen to it over and over again, and every time I have some major project, that's what I listen to. It's the language. Tolkien is such a fabulous writer. Take all the mythology and the all of the Tolkien world away. His language, he's describing the countryside and just the words. And then you read other fiction and you have to come back to Tolkien because the language is just so much better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it shows. It's quite challenging for me. I would say I'm not a big reader, but and I don't know if it's because I equate and try to bring everything up to the level of Tolkien, but I'm like, this is all right. This is not as good. So, Martha, are you? I detect an accent. Are you in the north? Are you in Minnesota, around there? Where are you at?
Oh my God! How could you say that? My books are the authorized Canadian edition of a famous heroic tale. So Victoria.
Canadian. Nice. Okay. All right. Well, I knew north. I was close.
Yeah. But honestly, listened to the recorded books. You could listen to it,
good.
and then all of a sudden that sort of opens up. You never have to go back and actually read the book. It's so good. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Fun fact, whenever I used to listen to Tower of Killith Ungol every single night when I was a kid. That is my favorite part of the books.
Well, and after you watch the movie, you have to go back and read the sections that aren't in the movie, like the Houses of Healing. You have to read that section over and over again.
Mm-hmm. May I ask you mentioned language. May I ask a question of the book? This is for a paper I'm writing at the moment. Some of us, Tolkien has a lot of descriptions, particularly descriptions of nature and how he loves trees and that sort of thing. So I wanted to ask, if you came to Lord of the Rings through the book, did you like all of his descriptions of nature or not? And if you came to the Lord of the Rings through the films, did you find all those descriptions unnecessary or kind of tedious, or did you still like them?
Weren't we all amazed that Peter Jackson could actually make a film that brought the book and all those descriptions to life?
But when you're reading the descriptions after seeing it, do you still want to read all that or think, oh, I've already seen it, let's move on? That's my question.
Can't do that.
No, you
Nancy,
can't
I
do
would
that.
agree. I would agree with your.
There's no separation.
Well, your theory
making your
there
own-
is
Okay.
that if you did not see the films, I'm just so I'm restating it just so I understand it. If you had read the books before you saw the films or any visual representation, do you have a better appreciation of the language and the writing than if you saw the films and now go back and sort of see the significant amount of descriptions? Do you sort of just go over that quick to get to a plot point? Is that sort of what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yep. That's interesting. I don't know. The younger
all of the
folks need to answer that one.
I don't have an answer to that.
Someone was saying
I grew
something
up with the animated films because before I could read, my dad's like, okay, so we're going to start you off early in Tolkien. We have to get you in now. So he showed me all the animated films, and I don't know, there's just no way you could skip over any of the writing in Tolkien. You're going to miss something if you do. Like even now, rereading all of the books, I'm picking up on stuff that I've missed before. You can't skip over it. There's no way, and that's one of that's like some of the beauty of it, where you can't avoid any of the story. Tolkien's also the reason why I got my degree in English, and why I'm previously why I was pursuing philology as a PhD, or at least that's my goal currently, is to do that. But you can't have any of the story without any of the setting. So there's no way to avoid it, and there's no way to not love it because it's so well written and beautiful.
Some of
you
it is prose poetry.
The world through his eyes if you
If we have a language expert, I have a question I've always thought of. I had always heard that Churchill made a point when he did his speeches to only use words that were Anglo-Saxon in origin as opposed to French. They were German. Anyway, and I wondered whether Tolkien made that same thought, that so many of his tales are rooted in the Nordic languages, and I wonder whether he chose particular words. When you have a choice of fight and battle, which one do you choose? And do you choose it because of the origin of the word? I'm done. Thanks.
Yeah, I think there's a conscious choice toward the Anglo-Saxon words, particularly when you read the earlier versions of The Lord of the Rings in the History of Middle-earth and the later rewrite. And you can also see him choosing the different words in some of his poetry, such as errantry or the horde, or the man in the moon came down too soon, where he does use etymology and the types of language to create different settings. So I think, yes, there is I think he did try to leave out deliberately classical terms, names that were embedded in the language, like, for instance, chamber, for example, nation, those came from Old French, but they've been in English for so long that they're part of English. But I think he deliberately tried to leave out classical terms, because when you hit one, like when he describes Ithilien as sort of a disheveled dryad loveliness, it sticks out because it doesn't fit. As dryads in Middle-earth, they're classical, they're not Northern. So to answer your question, yes, I think he did do that, sometimes consciously and perhaps sometimes unconsciously, but there is that in there.
I can't remember where I read it, but I do believe that Tolkien wrote a lot of Anglo-Saxon and Norse references into it because he believed that the English didn't have a well-rounded mythology on its own, and that we had been trying to incorporate the classics like Greek and Roman into our mythology first, into the mythology first.
SJ, I had read somewhere that the Silmarillion was his gift to his country because there was no mythology, because it was destroyed by the Romans.
And also by the French.
I'll have to look through my notes. I have all the references written down somewhere. I don't know where anything is anymore.
That was one of the things when I connected with the Silmarillion. Bastion, stop, honey. Sorry, needy kitty. But that the creation of Middle Earth was rooted in music, and that was it made so much sense to me that everyone would suddenly burst into song.
Yeah, especially since a lot of Elvish is based on Welsh, and you can hear in the Welsh language how musical it is on its own. I forgot who said it. I think it was Michael Sheen. He's a Welsh actor, and somebody asked him if he could sing, and he says, "I'm Welsh, of course I can sing."
You guys can continue your conversation because I don't want to end it. It sounds awesome, but I am going to bed because I have to go to work tomorrow.
Lame.
Sounds painful.
Can we do a toast to the professor?
Well,
this is me beginning my birthday celebration for me. So
well, happy birthday.
Because January 4th is my birthday.
Happy birthday.
And
Diana?
I think we should leave. I'll leave with a toast to the professor one more time. We did one a couple hours ago now.
Sorry, I don't have
One more.
I came in a little late, so I missed.
No, I'm glad you said that, Nancy. It's a great idea. Everybody, let's have one more toast to the professor.
To happy birthday.
2021.
Happy birthday, Tolkien.
It is so great to have everybody here to join us on this wonderful community occasion, and God bless us, everyone.
God bless us.
To the professor.
The professor.
The professor.
Sorry, I don't have a glass on me. Didn't realize you guys were going to do a toast. But
And I'm going to add to Christopher Tolkien also.
Yes.
The keeper of the flame.
The keeper of the flame.
Yes.
Yes. May you rest in peace.
My hot chocolate is no longer hot.
Thank you all for joining us.
So much work.
And
this was a good Tolkien toast. Well done, Chris.
I just wanted to say thanks for all of this. This is great.
Like I said, we're going to try to do more of these. Just we'll find excuses for events in the future as well.
Yeah, I gotta get going. I have that work thing to do tomorrow as well.
Yeah, you know, East Coasters. All right. Thank you, everybody.
I'm going to send out a quick
Chris.
Anybody
Thank you.
come and join us next Tuesday. Join us at TheOneRing.net for our live stream show on Tuesday coming up. It'd be great.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, thanks, Clifford, for introducing my dad to TheOneRing.net. My dad talks to everybody, and I think he just kind of cornered you in the middle of that cafe, and he's like, yeah, so I'm just going to talk to you now. And then you kind of introduced him to the fandom that he already loved. So thanks for that.
I was there to meet people like your dad and you. That's what we were there for. We were traveling across the country, bouncing around to city after city after city. And Justin, he's in the background. He can attest to this. We were excited to meet everybody and have such a great time. And I'm so glad that we did. It's really really lovely, really.
Your Road to Dragon Con trip was actually how I connected with other Tolkien people for the first time. Prior to that, my connection was my box set that I got in junior high, and I didn't get along too well with some of the other kids for a while.
I feel that one. I'm pretty sure I was the only girl that was into Lord of the Rings at my school. None of the guys wanted to talk to me.
And I think when I first heard the translation of my name into Elvish, I think that's the only name I went by in high school for about a year. So not many friends on that point, but I already had a small group of friends that were really into Tolkien anyway. So
Well, we should look forward to the Gondorian New Year when we have Tolkien Reading Day coming up on, right, March 25th?
Yep.
Or is that March 26th? Which day is it?
Fifth. I think
It's
it's
the
the 5th.
25th.
Yeah.
Cliff, what time is your Tuesday meetings, your Tuesday live stream? What time?
It will be at 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific time.
Okay.
Thank you.
Always at 5 p.m. And you can watch on YouTube, or you can watch on Facebook, or on Twitter, or wherever you're at. You can find us there. It's easy enough. Justin has been threatening to have some news and rumors that he hasn't even told me about. There's some kind of surprise going on, but there's a lot of energy in the air. There's certainly a lot of energy in the conversation as certain Amazon Studios gets ready to start, their finishing touches on the pilot episode that they did for their new Lord of the Rings set in the Second Age TV series. And there's a lot of buzz and build up around that might prove surprising in the end before it's all over.
Hey, did you hear that they wrapped up filming, Clifford?
They
Yeah.
did.
For season 1? That was just for season 1 though, right? When do they start shooting for season 2?
They wrapped up just for season 1, but that's only going to be 8 episodes. And after that, they're keeping a tight lid on it. But from what I understand, they only finished episodes 1 and 2, which are the pilot episodes, combined together as a 2-hour pilot. That's the only part they really finished. And I'm not sure about the other 6 more episodes after that, because season 1 will have a total of 8 episodes altogether. But I'm more, what more interests me, to tell you the truth? They've always had a license for this, the trilogy. They've always had a license for The Hobbit, but they've never had a license for Second Age material unless they got it from the appendix or the appendices in The Return of the King. And maybe there's a lingering unanswered question is, did they get the chance to pay and license for the Akalabeth, which is the back chapters near the end of the Silmarillion? They have a section called the Akalabeth, which goes into this deep conversation about Numenor in the Second Age. So we don't know if they paid money to the Tolkien estate to use that material. And if they did, then that would represent a treasure trove of much more storytelling and a lot of characters and very specific narrative threads that they could use for a TV series. And there's also stuff that we just don't know yet about that. Because there's
And that's
just
all,
a few
Cliff.
there's just a few
That's
bits
all
and
a good
bobs
Cliff.
in the appendix. That's all there is.
Cliff, that's all a great cliffhanger for the show on Tuesday.
Don't you think?
Chris,
about that.
the ultimate
Now we
producer.
have to
He's
see.
like, shh, wrap it up.
Okay, all right.
This
I
could
have to
also
go
be
to
part of
bed.
his hint of
Hurry up,
bedtime.
Your
Hey,
producer is
my-
trying to wrap this.
My 3 girls under the age of 10 are going to wake me up
Oh.
in 5 hours.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So
Well, everybody's been so lovely. Thank you for joining us, everybody. And stay safe and come hang out with us on a Tuesday.
Okay.
thanks,
Yes,
everybody.
every Tuesday. Thank you.
Nice to see everybody.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you. Bye.
Everybody.
Nice
Thank
to
you.
meet you.
Good night, everyone.
Cheers from Colombia.
Night.
See ya.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us, John.
See you again soon.
Cheers. Cheers.
Here.
Well, night, y'all. If I can remember how to leave. There's John. Hold on.